You don't know how long I waited to do the predictions on this fight that's going to be taking place October the 3rd in Houston, Texas, UFC 192. Daniel Cormier, the UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, 16-1, will be taking on Alexander Gustafsson, 16-3. And I'm going to give my predictions on these fights. The welterweight battle between Johnny Hendricks and Tyron Woodley. Light heavyweight battle between Ryan Bader and Rashad Evans. And a heavyweight match between Sean Jordan and Ruslan Magomedov. First of all, I like to get right into it. I'm going to do the welterweight. I got Johnny Hendricks over Tyron Woodley. I got Rashad Evans, of course, over Ryan Bader, but it could be an upset there because Rashad Evans is taking a lot of time off, and I have Ruslan Magomedov over Sean Jordan. Now let's talk about the main event, Daniel Cormier. Everyone knows, and the thing about me, if you're watching Into the Arena Uncut, is that I'm uncut. Daniel Cormier is my nigga. No doubt about it. I love Daniel Cormier. I've been watching him since Strikeforce. 2012 Strikeforce Grand Prix champion. Okay? Daniel Cormier, he took 4th in the Olympics. He beat Dan Henderson, who took 10th in Greco. He's defeated Anthony Johnson, who was on a 9-fight win streak, who's knocked out, a TKO'd Alexander Gustafsson. This man had a epic fight with John Jones. He won the championship, the vacant championship from Anthony Johnson. He was at heavyweight. He was 13-0. He's fought the likes of Frank Mir and Josh Barnett and Roy Nelson and Jeff Monson. He's 3-1 at light heavy. He only lost to John Jones. He's beat Pat Cummings first round TKO. He's beaten Dan Henderson, as I said already, 3rd round rear naked choke, and Anthony Rumble Johnson. That's where Daniel Cormier proved he's a great fighter by defeating Anthony Johnson in the 3rd round rear naked choke, grinding him down, taking his power punches, and able to get back up and recuperate. Daniel Cormier said he doesn't give a shit about John Jones. If he had to step in the octagon against Rashad Evans, although he likes him, he would tear him apart. Daniel Cormier is focused on Alexander Gustafsson. Now, you know what? I like to be real here. I was praising Alexander Gustafsson like the second coming of Christ. I thought he lost to John Jones at UFC 165, but the thing about it was he gave John Jones the most compelling fight, I believe. Now, I think DC, I have to say Gustafsson, I believe, gave John Jones a better fight than Daniel Cormier. Okay? Because he took Jones down, he blocked Jones' takedowns, he busted his face up. A lot of people say that he won. I didn't think he won. It was a great fight. It was an epic fight. And then to see him lose against Anthony Johnson in his hometown, it's like, what? But you know what? I give Johnson all the credit in the world. By the way, his last fight, he knocked out Jimmy Minowa in the 2nd round. I did see a headbutt, and that led to the TKO. Gustafsson didn't make no excuses. He's been going through some injuries. He's been going through a lot, and it surprised a lot of people that Dana picked him. But I think Dana picked him because of the name, because he lost his last fight, and he lost his last fight badly. And we're gonna have Tommy Ragenstein on, and we would have had him already on. I would have been covered this. Had a virus in my computer. This fight is going to be really good. And it's a fight that Alexander Gustafsson could pull off. I don't have him winning this fight. And the reason why is because I think Cormier is a superior, way better at wrestling. It doesn't take a genius to figure that out. I think he's seen what Gustafsson done against Jones. He'll be prepared to block that takedown. Okay, and remember, I don't know if Gustafsson is working with Phil Davis, but he was working with Phil Davis before he went against Jones. And I think Jones didn't take Gustafsson as serious as he should have, because we saw what Jones did against Cormier, blocking his takedowns, and that was like unbelievable, because me and Tommy Ragenstein was both astonished by that. And the thing is, I think Cormier is going to be able to nullify that. I think he can get Gustafsson against the cage and keep him there. I think that he will beat him in the, in dirty boxing with the cage, on the cage. I think in the center octagon, Cormier knows that he probably is not a better boxer than Gustafsson, so he will utilize his wrestling, and that will change the dynamics of the fight. And I think he will grind him down and probably will get a submission and win. I wouldn't even be shocked if he hurt Gustafsson on the feet, because he did push forward really hard on John Jones, and he won some rounds in there. Gustafsson, his boxing is exceptional. Okay, he proved that he has wrestling ability. I think he took enormous punishment, and I know that's a while ago, but I think that's still going to be in the back of his mind. I think that we're looking at striking, him keeping that distance and trying to strike with Daniel Cormier and catching him and maybe being able to get somewhere on that. But if you see Cormier take the punches of Jones, if you see him take the punches of Anthony Johnson in heavyweights, I do not see Gustafsson catching him with something that's going to be put him away. Of course, he can hurt him. Of course, he can, he's going to try to keep that distance. But I think he will, because Daniel Cormier is a master of closing distance, and he grinds you, and he has a really fast pace. Not only do I think Cormier will get on the inside and get in with that dirty boxing and get him against the cage and secure takedowns and mix up the dynamics of the fight, but I think he will utilize wrestling, and he will utilize his boxing skills, and he will do what he needs to do and accumulate points and be able to grind Gustafsson down until Gustafsson will be open for a submission or anything else that he may be open for. So I got Daniel Cormier hands down. I'm just telling you the reason why. We're going to actually go through an article, too, where he says he doesn't give a shit about John Jones, because they ask these questions over and over again with Daniel Cormier, John Jones. And you know how I feel about John Jones. He's a piece of shit. He's a piece of dog shit, and we told you about that a long time ago. And so many people, if Lance is watching this, Lance, I hope Lance is watching. If I can find Lance, I hope he's watching this, because so many people have said, Don Juan, we want you on here more regular. And I'm covering this fight, and I'm going to be covering Adrian Broner too. So it's starting with this, and I'm going to give you Broner soon if you're some boxing fans and you're watching. Strictly real sports here. Don't worry about any professional wrestling. Their name's always going to be attached. The consistency is saying if Daniel Cormier cannot defend this title against Gustafsson, he wasn't the real champion anyway. Some people still believe John Jones is pound for pound, and I still believe John Jones is pound for pound. I still believe John Jones is the champion, and I believe that Cormier is the champion. But John Jones can't be the champion because what he did. He didn't know, but he hit a pregnant woman, and he ran. She could have lost her child. And he's going to have to take this plea deal, and I'm thinking he's going to have to do some jail time here. And you better hope it's 6 months or a year, and then he can get back in there. But he is going to be gone for some time. And so it is up to Daniel Cormier to write his legacy and to be able to maintain this title until Jones possibly could come back, because that's no guarantee. So Daniel Cormier is the champion, and I want Daniel Cormier to prove that he's the champion by beating Alexander Gustafsson. And if Rashad Evans beats Ryan Bader, which is not guaranteed, it's not guaranteed that Daniel Cormier is going to win. But if it is, and he faces Rashad Evans next, beating the names like Gustafsson, beating the names like Rashad Evans, and he's beating Johnson, and you have to beat him in a rematch. And beating those type of names is going to make Daniel Cormier submit his legacy. And if Jones never returns, Cormier is the one that's going to have to maintain that title until he has to do what Jones did. Because until he could tie those records, until he could hold the title for a long period of time, people are always going to say John Jones. And they're going to say it no matter what. So what I'm basically saying is, for Cormier, he has to be in the top condition. You know, there's been his questions about his conditioning. You know, they say that he balloons in weight, he eats badly. He needs to keep himself in top condition. He needs to conduct himself as a professional, and he needs to keep racking up those wins. And as long as he maintains that title until he can face John Jones again, and then we will see where it goes from there. But he got some tough challenges in front of him. And I like what he says. He doesn't give a shit about John Jones. John Jones has to get his shit together, And John Jones has to do what he has to do. I already told you, I thought John Jones was a cokehead. I think John Jones is a liar. I think John Jones is a piece of shit. But you know what? I respect John Jones as a fighter. And by him distancing himself away from the media and not making videos and comments and acting stupid, maybe somehow, some way, and I can't criticize his religion because I'm a Christian too. Maybe he has woken up and understands that he has to get his shit together. And I'm hoping so. I'm hoping that's not phony. I'm not hoping that's fake. I hope he realizes that. So I'm not trying to knock this guy down every time because I haven't made any videos about him. I'm going to just report the news because we already been vindicated. We've been vindicated with John Jones. We've been vindicated with Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather cheated. He used an illegal IV intravenously that was not approved by WADA. John Jones proved himself to be fake and a piece of shit. So here on Uncut, and here in the things that I do, I know what I preach is a fact. It is the golden rule. Do unto others as they would do unto you. I am the Black Pope. They would shut Philadelphia down for me. Because I'm the one that preaches the gospel. And it doesn't matter what it is. And I'm looking in your face and I'm telling you that. And that's why we got 618 subscribers. I'm going to be covering this October the 3rd. And my predictions come true. We're going to read that article in a minute. To talk about Johnny Hendricks, Tyron Woodley, welterweight. That's a fight that could go anyway. But I got Johnny Hendricks winning that fight. I feel like he's a better wrestler. He's shown that he can take big punches. And so we're going to see how that goes. Robbie Lawler, he was able to take those punches. Matt Brown, I think he can get through Tyron Woodley. But Woodley is no joke. He is a phenomenal fighter. And it's going to be tough. And Woodley needs this win badly to submit where his place in the welterweight division. Ryan Bader, Rashad Evans. Ryan Bader has been consistent. And he pulls off these upsets. And as much as they, make fun of him, Daniel Cormier say get the fuck out of here and stuff, he could win this match against Rashad. Rashad's been out a long time, and he's faced injuries. But Rashad got what it takes to win. But remember, Rashad lost to Little Nog one time. So I'm hoping Rashad 3.0 comes in here and wins this match because I definitely would like to see him against Daniel Cormier or Gustafsson. But I got Cormier, but I know how the UFC goes. I mean, when you look at these three fights, most likely one of these things are going to go the opposite direction. Sean Jordan versus Magomedov. Jordan is not going to win that fight. Simple as that. Gustafsson has experience. He's been in there. He beat Minowa. He lost to Johnson. He's been in there with Jones. He's faced Shogun. He's faced Hamill and Silva. So he has what it takes. He knows what the championship rounds and experience is like. So it is up to him and probably his last chance at this title to do what he has to do to win it. I love Gustafsson. You know that. I praised him and everything. I want Daniel Cormier to win. I believe he's going to win, talking about technique and everything. But if Gustafsson won, I would be fine with that. But that would really, that'd be real bad for Daniel Cormier because he's going to be an afterthought. They're going to say he never was a real champion, and that's it. So he really needs to win this fight. This one, I would say, maybe is the biggest fight of his career. Biggest fight of his career because it's the biggest test of his career. So we're going to get into this article that I got off of Breitbart.com, and basically during that conference call, Daniel Cormier said he didn't give a shit about John Jones. They said the two light heavyweights that fans most want to watch clash this Saturday at UFC 192. Daniel Cormier and Alexander Gustafsson just don't clash with the man that fans want to see them fight. The thing that's really fucked up is that we live our day-to-day lives normal, Cormier explained to the website on the UFC 192 conference call. We don't worry about John Jones, but you guys will ask us questions about the guy, and the headline will make it sound as though I'm over here stewing about John Jones. I really could give a shit about John Jones. I care about beating Alexander Gustafsson. And then if Jones is the next guy, Jones is the next guy. Like Cormier, Gustafsson lost a competitive bout to Jones, suspended for allegedly fleeing the scene of an accident that left a pregnant woman injured. Lance, you know I'm right on this one. And y'all know I'm right on Floyd Mayweather too. While the Swede owns victories over Shogun, Matt Hamill, and Matyushenko and Silva, his blood and guts loss to Jones plays as his most memorable fight in a loop of running through MMA fans' minds. I don't even think about John Jones right now. It's just about the next fight, Gustafsson said. It's just about DC for me right now. He's the champion of the world in our division. That's where I have my goal. I don't even like thinking about John Jones at all in that situation. Remember, Gustafsson, I think, made a mistake when he said he wasn't impressed with John Jones' performance against Daniel Cormier, and then he lost to Anthony Johnson. He learns that he must be focused on his fight that's in front of him. He can't be focused on John Jones because we don't know when he's going to be back, and the task in front of him may be his toughest. The Swede, Mahler, says he's tired of hearing about his fight that fans can't stop talking about. Cormier defending the title he won after a suspension forced Jones to vacate it. That says he dislikes the discussion forced on a guy watching at home instead of competing in an octagon. It's hard to really answer these questions about the guy and allow him to actually just sit and continue to almost reign over this division when he's disqualifying himself from competition because you guys continue to ask us questions about him. The former Olympian divulges, my day-to-day life does not involve worries about John Jones. Now, what I will say, John Jones is always going to be in the back of his mind no matter what, because people are going to continue to question him, and it's never going to go away. Remember, Daniel Cormier took fourth in Olympics, 2001 NCAA. He wrestled against Kel Sanderson, who was the most dominant wrestler then, 159-0, and he lost to Kel. He took second back then. He in Olympics 2004, Gustafsson, the gold medalist, he lost. He qualified in 2008 and he couldn't make it because of improper weight cut. So he finally got that title. But when he got that title, he got that title on an asterisk. Okay, an asterisk that John Jones disqualified himself from the sport because of the stupid ass decisions he's made outside of the octagon. And now that he's finally got that title, he still can't get the credit for it all the way. It says, but neither Gustafsson, who nearly defeated Jones, nor Cormier, who dominated the former champ in the second round of their fight before momentum shifted, believed in their infallibility of the suspended fighter. They don't think Jones never experienced a legitimate defeat in 22 bouts is God, or even a good guy. At least Cormier doesn't seem to think that. They think that he's merely great. Cormier finds it ironic that Jones' legal business overshadows his octagon business, noting that he can't escape his nemesis despite his nemesis' respite from the sport. Jones faces a hearing Tuesday in New Mexico that could bring legal closure and open back up opportunities in MMA. The roundest wrestler says he wants Bones back in the UFC. He also wants him punished by the courts. Wow. John Jones Cormier admits casts a shadow. Heavenly bodies, as last night's eclipse demonstrates, occasionally do that. And then when all wait around for the spectacular sight to return. Go to MMA Weekly and hear what Daniel Cormier said recently.
No, I don't really know. We'll find out here next day, right? At least an idea of what going forward. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. At least next couple of days, we'll have an idea. Again, I'm so focused on Gustafsson that it's hard to really pay attention to what's going on with Jones. Seems as though he's doing the right thing, really distance himself from everything. He's going to be working on himself, which is the most important. You kind of sit here because he's so good, and you wonder when he's coming back to fight. But the reality is, this dude is doing what he needs as a human being, and I think that's what we should care about first. That's not really going to be when he comes back, when he doesn't have the issue.
So how much have you talked with Rashad on the call? You he was kind of tag teaming online and all that. I mean, you know, he said, you know, we're shot pretty well. So how much did you talk to him in preparation for this? And, you know, what do you guys kind of share with him together?
Not very much. You know, I mean, occasionally we'll text a little bit, but not very much.
And is that because what this could be in terms of matchups?
Yeah, and we'll work together afterward, and we'll be cool, but it'll be nice probably. And again, he'll be the target, and as much as I like the guy, you know, I'll go out there and try to rip him apart, and then hopefully our friendship will sustain itself afterward. But we haven't talked much, and I think it's you know, it's feeling underneath that we know. You know, I believe he's too good to get beat by Ryan Bader, and I think he understands that I'm going to beat Alexander Gustafsson. If Jones is not ready to go, it's going to be him and I. So.
How do you see, can you put on your analyst hat for a second and break down how you see Child and Taylor going down?
You know, it's
Go to MMA Weekly for that. Into the Arena the Down Base. We're going to cover the weigh-in. We're going to cover this fight. I guarantee, if I come before you and tell you I'm going to cover a fight, I am. And so I can't wait to see you Friday, and then Saturday. Tommy Razorstein will also be on the channel.